dead.
The dog was shaken extremely bad by the individual. Extremely bad by the individual, laying on its side, motionless.
Even after that severe beating, the young puppy named Lady is said to be alive by the owner. But the man in the video who delivered the beating was arrested by Detroit police and facing some serious charges.
Who said that the dog tore up some Cartier glasses.
We'll call her Tiffany. She owns 3-month-old Lady with her ex-friend, the 29-year-old man who allegedly beat the puppy.
He tried to explain, he reacted, he was apologizing, but that doesn't justify for anything.
It was Tiffany who posted the now viral video on Monday. She said the world needed to see it. It caught the attention of Detroit police, who arrested the man Tuesday morning.
The actions are unacceptable. We will not tolerate that in our community. We will definitely hold those accountable.
Tiffany says the beating happened at their home March 1st near Tireman and Greenfield.
You gotta go!
In the video, he's choking and throws the dog on this couch.
She was hurt, she was knocked unconscious, but somehow he brought her back to life.
And then Tiffany says she kicked him out. That's when she says he tossed Lady in the trash. That was her last straw.
I consider these dogs as another child of mine.
Tiffany says Lady is safe and healthy along with another dog they own. Both are staying with her family for now while she deals with health issues. Michigan Humane did a welfare check with Lady last Thursday and say they saw no outward signs of injuries. Reporting on Detroit's West Side.
They bring joy, companionship, and a sense of belonging to our families. They become our faithful friends, always there to lend an ear or simply provide a comforting presence. However, it is essential to recognize that not every pet has the privilege of a safe and peaceful home environment. Unfortunately, domestic violence often extends its reach to include our beloved animal companions. At the National Network to End Domestic Violence, we have witnessed firsthand the devastating connection between domestic violence and the mistreatment of animals. Offenders may deliberately harm pets as a means to exert power and control over their victims. By threatening, injuring, or even killing these innocent animals, abusers employ a tactic designed to instill fear and manipulation in their partners, ensuring their compliance and silence. The alarming statistics from the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals shed light on the magnitude of this issue. According to their research, a staggering 71% of women seeking refuge in domestic violence shelters reported that their abusers had threatened, harmed, or killed their pets. This heartbreaking reality demonstrates the extent to which animals can become pawns in a cycle of abuse. Moreover, animal abuse is not only a symptom of domestic violence. It can also serve as a warning sign pointing towards a concurrent or future acts of violence. Recognizing the early indicators of cruelty towards animals can help identify individuals who may pose a threat to both human and animal lives. By acknowledging the link between animal abuse and domestic violence, we can take proactive measures to protect both vulnerable victims and their beloved pets. To address this critical issue, it is crucial to strengthen collaborative efforts between organizations dedicated to ending domestic violence and those focused on animal welfare. By combining our knowledge and resources, we can create a comprehensive approach that addresses the needs of both the human and animal victims of abuse. One such initiative that has proven effective is the establishment of pet-friendly domestic violence shelters. These shelters offer refuge not only to human survivors, but also to their animal companions. By providing a safe space where victims can seek support without having to abandon their pets, these shelters address a critical gap in the existing services available to survivors. However, it is not enough to simply offer temporary shelter. Long-term solutions must be implemented to ensure the well-being of both human and animal survivors. This can be achieved through the provision of comprehensive support services, including counseling, legal advocacy, and veterinary care for the animals. Educational programs also play a vital role in raising awareness about the connection between domestic violence and animal abuse. By enlightening communities about the signs of abuse and the resources available to assist victims, we empower individuals to take action and support those in need. Additionally, teaching children about empathy towards animals can help cultivate a future generation that treats all living beings with kindness and compassion. Legislation and public policy changes are essential to creating a system that protects both human and animal victims of abuse. Laws should be enacted to prevent abusers from having access to animals and to ensure that animal cruelty is recognized as a red flag indicating potential domestic violence. By implementing stricter penalties for those who harm animals and providing legal avenues for the protection of pets, we send a clear message that violence against animals will not be tolerated. The connection between domestic violence and animal abuse is a distressing reality that cannot be ignored. As we strive for safer, more inclusive communities, it is our responsibility to advocate for the rights and well-being of all beings, human and animal alike. By working together, we can create a society where both pets and their owners can experience the peace and security they so deserve, especially during the holiday season.
Let's vlog.
This video depicts the emotional stressors dogs go through with an environmental or stressful situation with color graphics, sound effects, and images.
Pressed. Look. Busy body. Ow! Set. I know they're gonna big baby. Okay. Set. Hey. We decided to go into the vlogging thing and having a conversation about personal things like that a lot of people don't want to address, some issues like in a relationship where the dogs get involved or animals get involved. And so today we have a topic about mental and physical abuse in animal when the couples goes through certain issues. And me and Rodriguez, we decided to talk about it because, like I said, everything kept getting kept in the closet and nobody want to talk about the elephant. Well, today we're going to address that elephant. So let's start. How do you feel about all that?
Welcome to the Drama Dog Show. So now you know what show it is. You said all that, but you never welcomed him to the Drama Dog Show.
Well, that's like I cheat you for.
Okay. So welcome to the Drama Dog Show. Anna has brought up a good point. As a prior law enforcement, I have responded to hundreds and hundreds of domestic violence calls. So that way we have the credibility to talk about this. You are a woman, and domestic violence just doesn't happen to women; it happens to men too. And today we're going to be talking about.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt, but there's a lot of abusive women out there. We don't want to talk about that either, but yes, they will beat up their husband physically.
Yeah. And today we're talking about domestic violence and how it relates to animals, pets in your house. It doesn't have to just be dogs, it can be cats, birds, snakes, whatever. But that's what we're talking about, and we're going to take a 5-second break. Actually, it's a 2-minute break, and we're going to let Bella clue you into what we're about to go into this topic. Now, I will tell you this. If you have children please put them up. This is an adult conversation. This is not for your kids to hear, right? So
But this is for you how to handle.
right. There's nothing explicit, but we will be talking about physical abuse, and we don't want the children there listening to it. So,
And those do.
like I said before, in the last marriage and conflict, that this is an adult dog show. This is not for children, right? We're gonna be talking about things that actually affects the home and animals. Nothing wrong with it. I have nothing against the dog won't stay when I tell them to stay. But that's not what we're talking about. We will leave that to the other dog trainers. Today we're talking about the stuff that they won't talk about, which is domestic violence and pets. So we're gonna let Bella clue you in and we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we have a very important topic to discuss: how domestic violence affects pets. Now, you may already be aware of the devastating impact that domestic violence has on human victims. But what often goes overlooked is the impact it has on the innocent animals who share these abusive environments. Before we dive into this topic, I want to put a trigger warning in place. Domestic violence is a sensitive and distressing issue, and discussing its impact on pets can be difficult to hear. So, if you're not in the right space to engage with this topic, I totally understand. Take care of yourself and come back to watch this video when you're ready. Now let's talk about the connection between domestic violence and pets. According to a study published in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence, about 71% of domestic violence survivors reported that their abusive partner had also targeted their pets. This statistic highlights how pets become unintentional victims in these abusive situations. So what happens to these pets? Well, unfortunately, they experience a range of abuse and neglect, just like their human counterparts do. They may be beaten, kicked, thrown, or in some cases even killed. In fact, in a survey conducted by the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, 85% of women seeking refuge in a domestic violence shelter reported that their partner had threatened, injured, or killed their pet. But why would an abusive partner target pets? Well, one reason is to exert control and manipulate their human victims. By harming or threatening to harm a beloved pet, an abuser effectively forces their victim to comply with their demands or suffer the consequences. Moreover, pets are often seen as sources of emotional support for survivors, so attacking their pets is a direct way to inflict additional pain and emotional distress. Another thing to consider is that in many cases, pets are used as a means of power and control because they are dependent on their human caretakers. Abusers often recognize this vulnerability and intentionally harm or manipulate the pet as a way to maintain control over their victim. It's an incredibly cruel tactic that further isolates the survivor and makes it even more difficult for them to leave the abusive relationship. But it's not just the direct abuse that pets endure. Animals living in abusive households also suffer from neglect. Abusive partners may withhold food, water, proper veterinary care, and shelter from the pets. This not only causes direct physical harm to the animals, but also exposes them to environmental dangers. They may be left tethered outside without proper protection, exposed to extreme weather conditions, or denied basic necessities for survival. Now you might be wondering, why don't survivors of domestic violence just remove their pets from these abusive situations? Well, it's not that simple. Oftentimes, leaving an abusive relationship is a complex and dangerous process for survivors. The fear of retaliation and the concern for their own safety can make it nearly impossible for them to prioritize the well-being of their pets. Additionally, resources such as pet-friendly shelters or housing options are limited, making it difficult for survivors to find a safe place for themselves and their furry companions. Thankfully, awareness of this issue is growing, and many organizations are working to bridge this gap. Some domestic violence shelters are starting to offer pet-friendly accommodations, allowing survivors to escape their abusive situations with their pets by their side. There are also initiatives advocating for laws and policies that protect pets from abuse in the context of domestic violence. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, it's important to reach out for help. There are organizations and hotlines specifically dedicated to assisting survivors and their pets, providing resources, support, and safe havens for both. If you're watching this video and you're fortunate enough to be in a safe and healthy environment, there are ways you can help too. Don't underestimate the power of lending a compassionate ear or a helping hand. If you know someone who is experiencing domestic violence and is unable to remove their pet from the situation, offer to foster the pet temporarily or help them explore their options. Remember, pets are not just possessions, they are family members. They offer love, companionship, and emotional support to survivors of domestic violence. By acknowledging and addressing the impact that domestic violence has on pets, we can take a step towards building safer and more compassionate communities for both humans and animals alike. Thank you all for tuning in today and engaging in this important conversation. Make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on more topics like this. Remember, together we can make a difference. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.
So, all right, guys, we're back. So, what did you think about Bella and her theory on domestic violence and pets?
It's a lot to take in.
Why?
I don't know. It's just.
Oh, wow. Is it the part about the abuser using the animal as, you know, leverage over the victim?
I guess, yeah. A lot of people doesn't realizing it majority of the times, but the most cruel thing I believe is like when, just say for example, when they argue getting to physical, and the physical transfer to an animal without thinking, oh, it's okay because it's just a dog.
Right.
I can beat his behind. So I didn't put my hands on the woman.
Right.
So but it's not the case. It's still bad.
I believe that some people already believe this is true, and some other people believe. I think the abuser believes that if I abuse the animal, he sees the animal cowering, so he's getting power, and he sees the woman cowering, he's getting power, or the man cowering, whichever, right? The person, we'll use person, and they get power, and they become addicted to that, seeing
Have a power
that people are bowing to them in a house.
Right.
And then it becomes such an addiction until both the animal and the person, the victim, get hurt. So I think when the animal there, I think it increases the odds of the abuse that's gonna happen. I think these dogs do find, because you gotta think about it, if you leave an abusive situation, you're lucky if you can just get out. I'm not talking about you have your car keys, your clothes, you're just lucky to get out and make it. Let alone take your dog with you.
Right.
Right? If you're trying to sneak out of the house and your dog's making all this noise, you're not gonna make it out. You've gotta get out of this house.
Correct.
You gotta get out of this house while he's asleep. Right? Or she's asleep. And you leave the animal behind. Also too, once you make it out, who's gonna take you in with a dog?
That's another thing. That's what I think. I believe it's bad because a lot of landlord or anyone.
Well, just friends. You made it out.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta stay with people.
Right. People are like, oh, you
No,
can
you can't
stay,
bring your
but
dog.
no dogs, no
Right.
animals.
Right.
Which I think is a little bit bad. Like, you know.
Yeah, and I think they have a lot of programs, but these programs are kind of spread out, right? They have a program in this city where they help you find a home with your dog, but this city don't have one. And you may be in that city, right?
Right.
And when you make it out, you don't make it out. You gotta remember, if you're in a domestic violence situation, you don't have any money. The first thing they're gonna do is control the bank account. That is the first thing, the access to the money, right? So now you've made it out, you have no money. The second thing they're gonna do is they're gonna put you in a situation where you're not in a job to where you have friends to reach out to from that, right? And they cut off your family members, your friends, right? Your access to the internet, social media. No one knows you're being abused. And the people who suspect it are like, just leave them, like it's easy. But now you have all these other things. Your children, your animals. You just can't get up and run.
No, you can't.
You probably don't even have your driver license. She or he probably has that. You know what I mean? Now when I put it that way, you say, oh, now I understand. The reason why I said that is because I've investigated hundreds of domestic violence situations. And all like clockwork, none of them had the money. If they had a job, he controlled where they worked at, right? They had kids and they had animals.
Mm-hmm.
Now they had to make choices. Some people say, I'm gonna stay here and take the beating for the kids. Because if you leave the kids, who do you think is next?
The kids.
The kids.
So it's if there's not kids, it's the animals next. So whoever or whatever you love the most, that's what they're gonna get targeted.
And this is the kicker to it. Everything that person that got abused went through, so did the animal.
Mm-hmm.
So now that animal is separated in new homes and new environments, and nobody knows about the situation. I think it should be a notification that law enforcement has to, the shelters have to notify the new owners this dog was in an abusive situation. And a domestic violence, if it was convicted.
Right.
If it's public record, not something that
Everything should be a public record.
it should, yeah, but they should put it in their file so they know that the dog needs to go see a special dog trainer.
Yeah, because sometimes we see the dogs with behavior that we have no idea, even the owner alone doesn't know where their behavior come from or how to fix it.
Yeah, and then if you take them to, say, a pet dog trainer that only does certain things, then he's not gonna know, right? And even then, if you know what happened to the dog, it's easier to fix. But if you don't know, it's like throwing darts at a wall.
The dogs is just like, I believe it's like a relationship. They're not gonna start showing who they really are in the first 3 to 6 months.
Right.
Till they get comfortable. And now they regress back, like, okay, now I'm gonna show you who I really am. Now I'm gonna show you what my
I'm saying
medical situation
if a dog
is.
was in that situation and they were mentally and physically abused, that's gonna be with them for the rest of their life. This
Right.
is never gonna come out of them. They're never gonna be a social dog. They're never gonna be a friendly dog. Now, when I say friendly, like they're not gonna just go up to random people. They're always gonna be in the show, right? And then people, they get those dogs, and the first thing they say is, "I want to take them to a dog trainer because I want them to be more social," right? This dog has PTSD. This dog has traumatic stress syndrome, and he has no medication, and he can't talk, and nobody knows what's wrong with him. And then we're just paying trainers to figure it out, and they're just saying, oh, he's a bad dog, or you guys might abuse him, and no one knows. That's why I said it should be public record.
Speaking of medication, I see over and over again that a lot of people, they're just getting stuff over the counter. Like I said, I don't want to target anybody or don't want anybody to feel any type of way.
I don't understand what you mean.
But as far as like just say for example, like hemp gummies. Like they want the dog outside of your ward running around, they will get them hemp gummies. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, should they go for it or like, how do you feel about it? Okay.
All right, guys. So this weekend we're gonna go be visiting a very special dog trainer, Anna.
But we'll let Josh tell you guys all about it.
All right, Josh, take it from here.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to our channel, where we explore fascinating places and meet incredible people. Today, we're taking you all the way to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to visit the renowned Mr. Donnie White and his extraordinary canine training company, Tremission. Get ready for an episode that's all about beaches and dogs. Now, what makes this episode extra special is that we have a very important guest joining us. Mr. Donnie White will be putting his highly skilled mastiffs to the test in personal protection training. These beautiful and powerful dogs have been trained to respond to potential threats and keep their owners safe. It's a demanding and impressive skill set that we can't wait to witness firsthand. Myrtle Beach itself is a breathtaking location, known for its stunning sandy shores and crystal clear waters. It's the perfect backdrop for our adventure today. As we capture the beauty of this coastal paradise, we'll also get to delve into the world of dog training with Mr. Donnie White. Tremission has gained a reputation for producing some of the finest trained dogs in the industry. Their approach combines patience, compassion, and a deep understanding of canine behavior. It's truly amazing to see how these dogs develop their skills, turning into loyal protectors while maintaining their playful and gentle personalities. So, my friends, join us on this thrilling journey as we witness the masterful techniques of Mr. Donnie White and his fantastic mastiffs. We'll explore the beaches of Myrtle Beach, uncover the secret to effective canine training, and discover just how strong the bond between humans and dogs can be. Trust me, you won't want to miss this incredible episode of Beaches and Dogs. Stay tuned for an adventure you won't soon forget.
told you where we're gonna go, so you guys stay tuned for that episode. And we're gonna finish this off, and I'm gonna talk to Anna real quick and ask her, how do you feel that men are more, men would be more, I don't wanna put you on the spotlight, more common to use physical abuse on a dog versus a woman would use mental abuse?
Not really. I believe it's equally. Women's are a lot of emotions. We get loud. We say we have a high temper. Now, if you show me a very, very mellow woman who doesn't lose her stuff,
Yeah.
it's like, it's few. They exist, don't get me wrong,
Right.
but they're so rare.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I mean, a woman's yelling and screaming. I think so. Dogs are very sensitive creatures when it comes to noises, and most of the time, the abuse happens. It doesn't have to be physical. It
No.
can just be yelling and screaming, and the dog starts to act the way.
yes.
Normally, after couples have a fight, the dog goes through these bad stages, and the couple doesn't know what's going on, but the dog is feeding off the energy from both.
Absolutely. Majority from a woman. Because they feel like always they have to protect a woman because we are such gentle creatures.
Yeah.
So, but you know what I'm saying. Like a man probably is like, man, she can mess me up. Like,
Yeah.
but the dog's like, oh, I need to protect her because he gonna hurt her.
Right.
Like, that's how the dogs look at it. And that's with any dogs. If you put me right next to La Catina and you raise your hand, she will think you're gonna hurt me.
Right.
So it's like I said, the dogs, their mentality is like, I have to protect the female and the child.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, remember you had a service dog, Donna?
Yeah.
Every single time when we like play and argue and you try to pick me up, she will like immediately go in defense, but like she had to protect me.
Right.
But she was your service dog.
Well, we'll say this, that just like with humans, physical abuse is actually much worse than mental abuse is much worse than physical abuse, because physical wounds heal, mental wounds don't. So dogs have that. So if you punch a dog in the head and now they're scared, they're always scared. Even though they heal from the pain, mentally they're always scared. So everything around them they think is danger to them and they need to fight it, right? So I think that me personally, and I tell this to Anna all the time, and don't take this the wrong way. If I meet you and your dog, I know everything about you and your family because of how the dog acts. So I can see how the dog reacts to people, and then I see when you bridge and you make an excuse. For instance, you have the dog, right? And the dog, if I have a dog and the dog cowers, I don't feel the need to explain to anybody why he's doing that. Because one, you don't know that I'm a dog trainer. I have another person's dog. Their dog cowers, and I'm in public trying to fix that, right? But when the dog cowers and someone immediately says, oh, he's a rescue, the people who rescue that we got, they said he was abused, I know that 50% of that's not true. Because one, I just said that there's no way we could know if you rescue a dog that came from an abusive situation, right? Unless there's a police report with it. Because without a police report, it's just hearsay.
Right, sorry.
Right? No, you're fine. And then so there's other dogs genetically cower when it's in their DNA to cower, because they are genetically fearful of everything, right? You can know the two. The reason why I take the dog out to do it, because if the dog is out with me and they slowly stop doing it, then I know they were in an abusive situation. If no matter where I take the dog and no matter how comfortable I make the dog and they do it anyway, then I know they're born genetically like that. So.
Yeah, but you as a trainer, would it give the audience the advice what to look for much easier? Because like I said, you be dealing with dogs, you see all kind of type of dogs. What to look for?
So if you're going to the shelter or you're buying a dog or you're rescuing a dog, you want to definitely check to see if the dog has any kind of mental effect. First thing you want to do while you're out there is pay no attention to the dog.
Okay.
Right? And then while you're talking, you randomly step towards the dog just for no reason to see what he does. The dog either is going to come towards you for a pet, or he's going to cower down. Or three things. He's going to do nothing, which is good. He's going to lunge to you for a pet, which is good. right? Or he's gonna back up. At that point, you automatically know you have a bad situation on your hands. And that time you should be deciding, okay, I may need a dog trainer. Will his mental situation be too much for us? And people say, well, I love all dogs. I get it. But if you can't have anyone come to your house, you can't take the dog anywhere, you can't even go to work without the dog losing their mind, it could be too much for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you want to know that in the beginning. And then how much information do you have? Like if this is your first video hearing about this, because they have a bunch of videos on YouTube about domestic violence, pets, and the effects, then you probably should be getting this dog, right? So from that point, then you can go back and get you a dog trainer and start working on those issues. But if you know it up front and you got the money for the dog trainer, then it'll probably turn out good. But if you don't have money for a dog trainer and you have no idea about domestic violence and the effects it has on animals, you already lost.
And there is also a situation probably will be where a trainer will not give that information to a client and will take the money. So basically, it's
what I know what you're saying, and what I'm about to tell you is, you won't find a show on YouTube or anywhere else talking about domestic violence and pets. You won't find one. You won't find a dog trainer talking about it. So that leads me to believe that they don't care and they don't want to get in your business. They don't want to ask you that because it's embarrassing. So they just want to take your money and do the best they can with the dog without addressing the issue. But you can't fix anything if you never address the issue. Because if the dog is currently in a domestic violence situation and they go back, whatever you train them to do, ain't gonna matter anyway. They're gonna go right back into the situation, right?
That's true.
So, I mean, like I said before, you do your best to identify a dog that's been abused. There's a lot of ways. They're called head shot. When you try to pet a dog, they're moving their head. That's kind of someone popping the dog over the head when they're a puppy, potty training it, so they become head shot. Head shot leads to fear, aggression, and biting whenever someone raises their hand. So you have that. You have the dog's antisocial behavior, right? Cowering in a corner, always making them so small. There's a lot of issues when you meet a dog. A lot of people get dogs like that because they say, well, when I get him home, I'm gonna show him love and then he's gonna change. Sometimes it happens, but for the most part, it's recovery time. We shot the grounds off with the Belgian Malinois puppies. They didn't, only one kind of ran, but the rest of them stood there.
Right. Well, she didn't run the second time she ran, but the first time she got up and she started barking.
I get that part, but I'm saying their nerves were strong.
Right.
I shot off around with Athena, and for 2 weeks I had to work trying to get her to bite and hold her bite on the bite sleeve. So every dog is different. And you gotta have a dog that once they've been through the situation, there ain't no going back. And next thing you know, they're biting everyone. Because they take it personal. And they're like, they'll bow to the person who initially abused them, but after that, they're like, no one's ever gonna do that to me again.
Right.
Ever. Right? The first thing they're gonna do is show teeth and bite first. Let you know, hey, if you're thinking about it, don't think about it. You know what I mean? And so unless you have some more, I'll wrap up the show right now.
No, I was wondering maybe if you have any other questions or anything else I don't wanna.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrap it up, guys. There's the go ahead.
If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and ask or concerns or any other ideas that we need to talk about. Reach out to us. You send us an email, comment, call us, text us, whatever you can.
Absolutely.
Subscribe, of course.
Yeah, and subscribe. Right. If you like what you see, and subscribe. So, and I'm Rodriguez. This is Anna.
As always.
And we'll see you guys next time on the Drama Dog Show.